Airports company South Africa says it's all systems go for the festive season peak, ready to welcome large volumes of travellers to its airports across the country. Now, the airline experienced a jet fuel shortage last week, leading to flight disruptions, but say that contingency plans and strategies are firmly in place to deal with the busiest days of the year. Tambo International Airport's busiest week is expected to be between the 11th and the 17th of December, with festive season expected to see more travellers. The airports company has also seen a 3% increase in passenger numbers in 2024, dismissing claims of going into liquidation.
You find us at the headquarters of Airports Company South Africa this afternoon as we see them giving us a sense of the peak demand in terms of the preparations as they're looking for a seamless process going into the festive season. And this becomes important looking at where we come from. Remember, it was last week when we saw a jet fuel shortage that led to disruptions. And we see them today also just giving us a sense of a report in terms of what happened there and where are they as a company. We saw also claims coming through of a liquidation, also issues that have been coming through with people worried around how the festive season is going to fare. But really, when you look at it, Airports Company South Africa are saying that they've seen a 3% increase in passenger numbers. They're looking at an 88% recovery in terms of where we come from, COVID-19. And we see them saying that they're now looking at recovery as per the tariff that kicked in April 2024. I'm going to bring into the conversation now the CEO of ACSA, this being Ms. who'll give us a sense of really the work that you guys have been undertaking. We know very well that there was a little bit of a spook that came out of last week as well, looking at that incident that happened, but we see you allaying fears here. Let's start there. Give us a sense of what happened and really give us a sense of really the claims, because we saw that Flights FA, one of them, in terms of saying that there is a need for insurance following that incident. Welcome to the SABC.
Thank you, and good morning to your viewers. Thank you for the opportunity, because we really think it's important for us to clarify to the public, particularly after the jet fuel incident. And let me start there. I am able to confirm that the incident happened between 9 a.m. and by 1 o'clock the system had been restored. It came as a result of a broken drive shaft, and the shattered broken drive shaft has been submitted to labs for analysis to determine exactly what the underlying cause was, and we're able to replace it, and this actually also replaced the entire valve to ensure that the system is back in full operation. We understand the negative impact, and we've apologized unreservedly to the South African public for the negative impact, particularly of the passengers who had delayed flights throughout the day. This is unfortunate because we actually control a lot of traffic throughout the platform on a daily basis. So when you have a delay for even 1 hour, it has a knock-on effect on the entire system, because we must get to a point at which all the flights are back on schedule, and that does take some time to get to one flight going to a destination and returning may recover 10 minutes at a time, and until you get to the end of the day. So we apologize, and we have no doubt about the inconvenience that was caused. We apologize profusely for that to members of the public. But we'll get to the bottom of it. The incident report is already out. And coming back to the issue about insurance claims, we operate in a normal legal environment where the incident report, together with the lab analysis, will be submitted to our insurance companies and submitted to our legal department to really advise us on how we should proceed. So that issue is very much integrally linked to the incident report, and whether or not and how we proceed with payment of, as has been suggested, a reduction on passenger charges or anything of the sort will really depend on the outcome of the report. And we will do good. We're a good company. We will do good by South Africans. We're not going to run away, and we're a public entity and a SOE that's responsible. If the insurance companies come back and say there's a liability of this amount, you must compensate, we will. And we will act in accordance to it. But it's got to be scientifically determined. And all I can say at this stage, whilst particularly the lab reports are outstanding, is just give us time. Let's wait for particularly the outcome of that, and we'll do the right thing. There's no way we could suggest that ACSA does not want to take responsibility for a liability that it draws out of this incident. But we must get to the bottom of it. What happened to the drive shaft? Did it crack? What caused it? Did somebody go there and sabotage it? What really is the underlying cause?
So the investigations are still going.
Particularly the lab test, which will look at the drive shaft itself and say, this is what happened to this drive shaft. Because the lab people are the only ones who can determine. And then on that basis, we will proceed. Now, coming back to the tariff issue, the tariff allocated on a 5-year basis allows us to be able to implement our infrastructure, which basically is funded from the tariff increase that our regulator provides us. I've already indicated we received 4.5% increase in the first year, 10% in this year, 6.5% the next year, etc., for the balance of the period. And what we do with that tariff is it allows us to be able to invest an equivalent amount of money into projects. How do we determine those projects? We've been planning for projects whilst preparing for the permission. Some of them, and 70% of that 21 billion, are actually refurbishment and rehabilitation projects. The 30% is then about what we call traffic increase, and that means increasing the capacity. On the refurbishment ones, we've got a whole list, a whole plethora of projects across all of the airports, and particularly OR Tambo. Why OR Tambo? OR Tambo is one of the oldest airports around. Whilst we did expansions in 2010, etc., there are certain parts of OR Tambo that are gotten to an age where they really need serious refurbishment work. Why haven't we done it up till now? We were not able to do it as of 2020. In fact, most of these projects were suspended because of COVID. We're only now bringing them back to speed.